We're going to call this episode Return of the Shit Box. Yeah, I've got the trailer car hauler hooked up. I'm getting ready to hit the road. I'm going to head back to my hometown. My nephew ended up with the Honda, and the water pump went out, which a water pump is a pretty inexpensive part, but on that particular model, I guess you have to take off the timing belt and the tensioners, and it's quite a process. So he's not able to get that done himself. His dad could do it, but my mechanic buddy here local is an expert on those Hondas, so I'm going to have him, you know, get this all taken care of for us. So I'm going to head to my hometown and pick it up and get it back on the road. All right, guys, we got her all loaded up and ready to go. Hit the road, head back to Indy. Let's see if we can get the shit box back on the road. Well, there it is, guys. The good old shit box is up on the lift at my mechanic buddy's house, and he got the work done before I could get out here and shoot any video. But it had a suspected water pump problem, and on these particular cars, to get to the water pump, you have to basically tear apart the whole front end of the engine. And if you're in there that deep, you might as well put a new timing belt tensioner, some miscellaneous pulleys, and a water pump. And the alternator had taken a complete dump, which was probably the initial problem, but it did have a coolant leak coming out of the water pump area. The shit box came back home to me, so I could fix it up for my nephew. His dad probably could have done the job, but you know, I figured since I had a history with the car, I'd bring it over here and let my good buddy take care of it for me, because he's done hundreds of these. It's got about 8,000 more miles on it since I gave it away to my nephew, and it's not too bad a shape. There's a couple new dents and dings and scratches, but it's served him well so far. We just have to tidy up this timing belt, water pump, alternator replacement, and change oil, and it'll be back on the road. Hey, good morning, guys. It's Saturday, April the 24th, 2021. It's kind of a gloomy day today. It's supposed to rain all day. Hey, no big deal. Can't really get out in the yard. Can't do any yard projects or anything. As you can see in the background, I got the box loaded up. I've only had it back for about a week. My nephew has been using this car. It broke down, water pump was leaking, what the heck else was going on? It wouldn't hold a charge, the alternator was bad. We ended up, you know, to help him out, I went over last weekend and picked it up, because my mechanic buddy is more or less a expert on these Honda Civics. And when you do a water pump on these cars, I didn't show it on video because it's just a tedious, boring process. I didn't do the work. I wouldn't even attempt it, but I took it to my mechanic buddy. But when you do a water pump on these cars, the whole front end of the engine has to come off. It exposes the timing belt. You got to take all that loose. It's had timing belts replaced before, but if you're going to have all that stuff out, you might as well put a timing belt on it. The tensioner that keeps the timing belt tight, there's a couple springs, the water pump, the valve cover's got to come off to get that front cover off. So I let him take care of all that. In the process, we discovered it had a bad alternator. I went ahead and put a new alternator on it. The battery cable connections were kind of jerry-rigged, and that was a lot of the problem. Probably what took out the alternators, that it just was constantly trying to charge. So we fixed that, rotated the tires, filled up the tank. I didn't wash it or anything. I just you know, they're in need of the car, so I wanted to get it back to them as quick as I can. So here we go again, heading back to my hometown. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive from where I live in north of Indianapolis. But here we go. Got her loaded up. This time I'm using my 2001 Chevy Silverado to pull it over there, 3/4 ton. Does a fine job of pulling this little box. And yeah, it's a little worse for wear. It's got a couple new dents. I don't know if it'll show up on the video. It's got a dent there. I'm not sure how the roof paint's holding up. It's pretty dirty, but I guess it still looks okay. I think there's a couple new dents and dings and scratches. That's really what you can expect for, you know, for a teenager and their first car. You know, they don't know how to take care of a car. They don't, you know, they drive them harder than they should, and especially a high mileage car should you know, take it easy. But they, you know, hey, I was a teenager once, and I remember driving my mom and dad's car and, you know, doing parking brake spin outs in the snow and drifting around corners using the parking brake and running it up on parking bricks and just driving it like an idiot. But yeah, you got to live to learn. All right, guys, let's hit the road. I just made it to my hometown. Let's see, how long have I been on the road? 1 hour, 27 minutes. So yeah, it's sometimes I can make it a little bit quicker, but not pulling a trailer with a car on it. And as I just crossed into Illinois, we'll see how busy the Illinois Sunnyside marijuana dispensary. And as always, every freaking time I come by here, this place is packed. I mean, packed. Look at all that lined up around the building. That's crazy. We made it. I'm probably gonna have to reposition the trailer to back that thing off so I don't have to go in the yard. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. It's dropped off. And my brother's drove it around the back of his, check his chicken coop, I guess. Another episode of the Shitbox Chronicles is behind us for now. Hopefully I won't see it for a little while. But seems like it's running okay.